Let's take a peek. We got 2 shelves. Both of these shelves are sized to hold 2 Frontrunner cases. Got plenty of room underneath. I have a spot for my dog. Can also access the top cases if I need to from this side. Got some storage room back here. I can access down underneath here, either through the side, or I can lift it up and get to whatever I need. If this seems like something you're interested in, let's check it out in detail. I'll show you how I made it. I don't claim to be an expert at this, but I wanted to share what worked for me. The goal for this project's simple. Make it as professional looking as possible. Try new things. Learn new stuff. And since it's my first time working with this stuff, I want to make a video that's really how-to beginner friendly. I'm going to share the dimensions in case you want to steal my homework. And I'll even share the cost if you promise not to tell my wife. You know what the biggest surprise to me was? Well, it's just how easy this was. If you find this useful, I would greatly appreciate it if you could like the video. Oh, and chapter markers are here to help you save time if you need to skip around. But before you start skipping around, quick note on safety. There's a lot of metal cutting involved in this. Always wear your eye protection, because every time I made a cut using my miter saw, I could feel those metal flecks hitting me in the face. All right, I'll hop off my soapbox. We'll get moving with this thing. If you don't already have your seats out like I do, here's what it looks like. So you've got these bolts holding the seats in. Right here, got the 60%. And you're also going to have this bin in here. Take that out. You just take out these guys right here. That's going to be a Torx fitting. Or you can do a socket. This guy right here, I've also got it removed. You don't have to, but you can. It's just got some screws there where you can take it out. It is just astounding how much room you can clear up in the back of these things. Let's take a little closer look at this now that it's out of the truck. So this is my main platform. This guy here is how I had it bolted in. And there's another one in the middle, another one on the end. I've also got 3 front legs. Could I put 4? Sure, I could have, but didn't see the need. You know why I used 3/4 inch plywood? Because that's what I had. I think I could have gotten away with 1/2 inch. Then of course got the EVA foam. I ran this part out a little further. I give up my cup holders, but it keeps my dog from falling in the hole. That was the point behind the extension there. And then we got our shelving system. I used ABS plastic on this entire thing. So each one of these is ABS. Could I have used 1/4 inch plywood? Yeah, I absolutely could have. I could have saved weight. I could have saved money. But I wanted to try out this ABS stuff. Then I just tied some bungee cord around here to kind of secure everything. So I know some of you may be brand new to working with extruded aluminum and stuff like that. So I'm just going to go over some of the basics, the different connectors that I'm using in this, and exactly how I connect them. Start off with extruded aluminum. So I did this whole project in what's called 10 series, which means that it's 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch. Too easy. This is pretty much the smallest size of extruded aluminum. I picked 10 series just because it seemed to have the best, I don't know, different attachments and stuff like that. But teaches them. You can also go a lot bigger. So for example, this is a big old huge honkin' section. It's 1.5 inches by 1.5 inches. This, super sturdy. But it's just way more than I need for this project. And this stuff, heck of a lot lighter. We're putting a whole bunch of screws in there. So I use this Loctite stick. I used to use the liquid version. It was just super messy. It worked just fine. But the stick, I like it even better. Because you just roll it out like a glue stick. And you're gonna take your actual bolt and just kind of give it a little nick, get a couple of the threads done there, and that's all it takes to get your screw Loctited. Much easier than the regular one. But let's take a look at putting one of these connectors together. So I'm going to start off with what I affectionately call the L bracket. If you want to join two pieces of aluminum extrusion at a 90-degree angle, this is a way you can do that. First thing you're going to do is you're going to put in these backing pieces. So these are what the screw actually goes into. And they fit right in the ends there. Pretty cool. Put these in both sides. Got the screw, the Loctite. Put some Loctite on. Put it through there. Get my handy dandy 4mm Allen key. And I just kind of put it on there, not even tight. That way I can still move it around to get things positioned for the rest of these. Now I'm not putting Loctite on all of these because, well, this is just temporary. And then I can put that in there like that. So I have all these screwed in. Before I tighten them down, I'm just going to adjust it to make sure that I've got it absolutely keyed in to where I want it to go. And I snug everything up. Just snug, not super tight. I can check to make sure that it's within my 90-degree mark. I can either snug it down with the Allen key that way, or I've got a fancy little ratchet that I use. Just got a Allen key right on there, 1/4-inch drive, nice and small, and it swivels so I can use it as a screwdriver if I want to. Or I can pivot it down, turn it into a really nice way to get these nice and tight. I've also got a different type of connector. This is the inside corner. So if I'm joining two pieces and I want to brace it along the inside corner, that is how I do it. Two little grooves right there and there that kind of key it in so that it kind of locks in there. Still slides. You've got this little guy in here, and it's maybe not nice and flat. It's very hard to get it into position because it slides around. So let me show you a little trick. I'm going to put this through, put this guy on, do the same thing to this other side. Should mention, these have a little like groove cut out. That's for this channel here. So just make sure you're screwing them in on the right side. Oh, and of course it's going to be difficult. There we go. All right, so I've got them in. You can actually screw these in and then put them on. I'm not saying it's easy. So if you have the ability to be able to do this, it does make life a little bit easier. What I will usually do is I want to tighten this down as much as possible. So I'll put just a super slight gap right there. Then I'll tighten this one down. Now I've got this side just kind of snugged up. This one I'm really going to crank down. And that will bring it into a nice alignment. And then I'm going to go and I'm going to finish tightening this one down. So, two 90-degree angles. What's different? Well, this one costs more, this bracket. These are a little bit cheaper, so you got that. Structurally, they're both super good at holding stuff together at a 90-degree angle. Now, where it differs is if you're going to be putting something in there. So I did a lot of my project with this stuff in there on the inside, whether it be this little corrugated plastic, ABS. I actually sandwiched them both together. But if you're putting something in there, you're going to need to use something like this L bracket, because, or I mean, you can cut it out, but it just doesn't look very clean. You'd have to basically cut off this entire corner here and then just put it in like that. The gap here is just a hair over 1/4 of an inch. This is 1/8. This is 1/8. So I can piece these two together. This makes an economical backing. It's not nearly as sturdy though. I have also got this guy right here. This is an ABS sheet that is 1/4 of an inch thick. So this goes right on here like that. Fits right in there. It's pretty snug on its own, but if you hear that, it's got some rattle to it. To solve the rattle problem, oh, what is this? Red Wolf vinyl tape. I take this, I won't do the entire edge in it, but I'll just put just a couple strips, usually 2 to 3. It's going to go in a lot tighter. Now it makes it more of a pain in the butt to put in, don't get me wrong, but you're not going to get that rattle. A lot of times you'll also have these ends, and these are pretty sharp. So I got some end caps as well. So it's basically just that with a little plastic push pin. That goes right on top. And then this just pushes into it. It's pretty hard to push. I used a little rubber mallet just to kind of make it go nice and smoothly and really lock in there. Then it just creates a nice protective cover on that outside. I use these on every visible outside edge. Just made it a little bit better. I don't have to worry about it cutting me or my dog or anything like that. So, bam, got that. I also used bungee cord. So whenever I was going around the inside, instead of putting additional bracing up there, I just used bungee for my sides. So I'll just cut that off. And it's frayed a little bit. No problem. I take a lighter, just really, really quick. I'll burn those edges. Then what I'll do is I'll tie it in a knot. Now I've seen people drill holes through this and just put it in there. And I may do that in the future, but I'm not going to do it right now. What I got was some of these little clips. And it's just vinyl coated little clips. So put that in there. Got my little screw that goes down. Then got that. And then I would route that around. I'd put one of these basically on each of my corners to hold everything in place. Much, much cheaper and much easier to get things in and out. If you want, you can also use these hooks as well. It does come with them. Same idea. You got the knot. Bam. Knot in there like that. But this time, except instead of doing that nice short screw, I use one of my big long screws. And then boop, connects in. Oh, let me show you the foam real quick. So I went with this EVA foam. Spent the most time on this one, just deciding if I wanted to go with a name brand or one off Amazon. I ended up going the Amazon route, figured I'd give it a shot, and if it sucks, I can make a video and let you know. First impressions though, this stuff worked pretty darn good. It's not outside or anything, but for indoor applications, yeah, I like it. It's called Ocean Board. I also went with ABS plastic because I wanted to be able to stick to my foam very, very easily. Now this stuff comes in a giant roll. You just peel the back. If you stick it down a little bit, you can get it off. Once you get some pressure on this one, dude, it ain't coming up. Now for my main base, where my dog's going to be hanging out, I use this 1/4 inch plywood. It will not stick directly to wood. So I use this stuff. I picked it up from Home Depot. It's called Glaze Coat. This worked pretty darn well. It's basically a 2-part epoxy that you put down. If you ever had any of the shiny bar tops and stuff like that, I think this product or something similar is what they used. Pretty easy. Mix it half and half. Spread it on, nice and thick, let it dry. Done. I cannot believe I just did that whole section in one take without even taking a drink of coffee. So, all right, well, that's gonna tie up the basics. If there's anything I miss as I'm going through this video, hey, shoot me a question. All right, let's look at the main project. To get my seats out, just take out all these bolts. This is where your hardware is usually kept, but I wanted to keep my good old power station in there. So that's what I did. Now I got all this blank canvas. Time to vacuum everything up, clean up my mess, get ready to fill it up with junk. As far as tools go, these two I used to cut the wood. Basically, cut this guy, get everything in place there. Wanted to make sure it was level front to back, so got a level. You can use either a socket wrench or the fancy driver. One extension and one, this is used to get the seats out of your Jeep. An E14. That is one very funky little tool, but nothing works better for getting the seats out. This makes life easier so you can kind of get in at weird angles. Makes it easier to get the seats out. This little pen right here marks metal. Really handy for when I was doing all my cutting. Also, really good to know how long the pieces are that you're cutting. So, tape measure. Use this to cut foam. Worked like a champ. Went through 3 blades in total cutting that foam. Last, but most certainly not least, one 4mm Allen wrench. One end with the ball fitting and the other end to torque things down. Along with that, I used a miter saw to be able to cut the aluminum extrusion pieces. All right, so that's tools. Let's dig into materials. I got to take this thing apart. I got to put all the, Loctite and everything on that so I can hold the screws down in their permanent positions. Now that I know the dang thing's actually going to work. So I will come up with a complete build list. I'm going to have all the dimensions here for you. So if you want to copy, man, you go right ahead. All right, let's hop into it. This is the main structural piece. Put a screw through here, or actually a bolt, and then it attaches on the other side in the little T-channels for the extrusion. Too easy. So I got to take each of these screws out, and I'm going to apply Loctite. So all I got to do is loosen these on both sides. This guy's only being held in by 2. Let me get that out. Let's see here. Bam. That's what the leg looks like. This bad boy is 11 inches long. Then I put a cap so it wouldn't dig into the carpet. That's going to be 3/16. So in total, 11 and 3/16. This will give you an idea what we're looking at here. So these just fit into the extrusion channels. And that's how it works on each and every one of these. Guess how many of these little corner brackets I used? All right, you ready? I'm putting it up on screen. Were you close? I wasn't. I didn't buy nearly enough. I had to make a second Amazon order. The blue Loctite will keep these bad boys from coming loose. This is amazing. I've used the regular, the liquid Loctite, and it works. It works just fine. But this is, oh my gosh, so much easier to use. You just take it, extend this out a little bit, and run the threads up there. Bam. If there's one product that's a game changer for this, it is the stick Loctite. Now it's expensive, but worth it. I'll throw a link up because this stuff, yeah, game changer. All right, I'm gonna do this like a bazillion more times. I'll check in with you later. So these are the end caps that I used on the bottom of all my legs, and just fits over it just like so. This goes in. What I do is I get it kind of on there, push it in as far as I can, but then I'm going to take a rubber mallet, try not to bang my finger. And there we go. Now we got everything all nice and capped. Just in case you're curious as to how exactly I attached my brackets here. This guy started out life as just a regular old 90-degree bracket. I then took my drill press, cut 2 holes in it, and drilled out this bad boy to fit that large seat bolt. And it turns out, to get it out of my truck, I actually had to disconnect this top part to take it off. This part's just about as heavy as the actual base. Well, I got these legs done. You know what, though? It's just going to be easier to turn it over, I think. We'll get a better look at the underside of this sucker. There it is. I've redone all of those. Redone that L bracket right there. I've redone this one, but I need to redo these. And that one right over there. These were kind of tight, so I went ahead and added some washers to them. I'm gonna do the same thing on this because it's a little jiggly. Ooh, that one's taut. There we go. Perfect. Now, I'm gonna do these. So even though this is jiggly, these things are all the way in. And that just means that they've actually gotten to be where they're bottoming out. Went ahead and took one of the shelves apart so you can get a look at it. So this is my ABS plastic. All in all, like I said, I'd probably go with wood. I wanted to give ABS a shot. This was a nice, easy way to do it. Not saying this is bad. It weighs more than wood and it costs more than wood. So it's 24 by 18. Just so happens this size is perfect for holding 2 Frontrunner cases. The one downside is whenever you put it in, it does tend to make a little bit of noise. So this is just electrical felt tape. I love this stuff. I use it for wiring, for, gosh, vibrating panels. So I take it, and then kind of put it over right like that. Don't have to do the entire panel, but I would recommend like 2 to 3 pieces. My single piece wasn't quite cutting it. One side is nice and shiny, the other side's got a texture to it. I have actually been doing shiny side up because I've been putting foam on it. I mean, that's not bad. I've got to stick some Velcro down, so I think I'm going to go shiny side up so that I can put Velcro. I'm going to do Velcro bags on the top here. So we'll do this piece real quick. Should be able to put them on by hand. But if you have a little mallet, that'll help. There we go. And I just repeat that for the other 2 sides. One of the hardest things has been remembering to have everything put in the slots. These guys. Because let me tell you, I must have taken this thing apart like 15 times when I was thinking of how to put it together. Apparently I forgot to hit record. I'm not putting this in again. It's a pain in the butt to get in, but it does fit. The light's failing me, but I'm going to attach it 1, 2, and 3 all the way up in that corner. Just gravity holding it in on that side. Loose fit on all 3 before I tighten them down. And numero 3. Okay. 1 and 2. Numero 3. I'm just going to connect in here. Do the same over there. Get these L pieces hooked in, front and the back. There is going to be 0 light and 0 good filming position. So I'm going to get her done. See y'all when I finish. All right, this is my ABS plastic. I'm actually going to stick down Velcro to this and Velcro some bags up top. So I did not put the fancy foam down. There's my nice foam, sticks like a champ. Then there's my bungee cord system. Again, bungee cord down here. Got a mix of L brackets, 90 degrees. Got those end caps. I actually made it so that this base is one piece and then this upper shelf is another. So if you want to steal my design, you are more than welcome to. You can just do the base if that's all you need and not build this upper section. I will let you make that decision. I didn't have it go too close to the seat because I'm up quite a ways and I want to be able to move the seat all the way back. I did not run this all the way to the back because I want to be able to store stuff back there. But this little case right here, I actually made it the perfect size to be able to keep Frontrunner bags in there. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. So this guy right here fits in. I can get my second bag in here. Bam, locks right on in. Then I got the other side. I could have done the panel all the way to the back, but I didn't really want to. I'm gonna put some bags and stuff here. This one's just a base because I'm gonna have my pooch in here and be able to lift it up. I do have to move this seat up to get the amount of clearance I need to be able to lift this all the way up. So then I got some additional storage in there. All right, I'm gonna hop into how much everything costs. There's gonna be links here if you'd like to make a purchase, support the channel. Yeah, definitely appreciate it. If not, I don't hold it against you. The only thing I'd ask, do me a favor, hit that like button before you head on out. So for the full package, it costs about $640. Now for just the base, 285 bucks. Now that's not counting the plywood because I already had that. So add whatever plywood or whatever decking you're getting on top of that. And that's what the base costs. That is a heck of a lot cheaper than any system you can buy. And you know what? I'm no master craftsman by any means at all, but I'd stack up the durability on this system against any of them. All right, let's hop into things. In the description and on the screen, there's going to be Amazon affiliate links. If you'd like to make any purchase, I'd appreciate the support. But there are affiliate links. I will make a small commission if you choose to purchase anything. So, all right, let's get into it. Got a list. First and foremost, the 10 series T-slot. I purchased mostly the 59-inch long sections. For 4 pieces of that, it cost me $124. Then those little corner brackets, well, for 20 of them, it cost $22. I needed 1 package for the base and 1 package for the shelving system. I also got a 10-piece L bracket. I didn't use a whole lot, but I'm gonna use them in future projects. Those were $30. Next on the list, to cap those ends off so we don't hurt ourselves, got a pack of 10 for $15. I also had the variety pack of the connectors and, you know, the bolts and the nuts that go in the fittings, all that good stuff. That cost $16. So if you remember the base of those shelves, those were 18 by 24 inch pieces of 1/4 inch thick ABS plastic. Those cost $50 for 2. Those worked pretty darn good. 1/4 inch plywood, a heck of a lot cheaper. Why, yes, it most certainly is. So to hold the elastic around the edges, I bought those elastic clips for 15 bucks. And of course, 100 feet of elastic. I don't know what the heck I'm going to use it for, but it only cost 21 bucks. That EVA foam made by Ocean Board, that was $90 for the section I should have bought that could cover this whole piece. I bought way more than I needed, and that's why I have a whole bunch left over. Next up, it's not really a material, but that blue Loctite stick just makes working with stuff so much easier. I am so glad not to be using the liquid-based Loctite anymore. That costs $22. Happily spend it again in a heartbeat. Then that E14 E-torque bit fitting, the one I used to take the seats out of the Jeep, well, hey, that's $6. Then some added items I had. L brackets that mounted everything in my Jeep. I already had those. I don't know how much they cost. That glaze coating that I bought, and some door hinges I had left over. All right, all these links are also going to be down in the description. If you have any questions, feel free to hit me up in the comments. So here is the dimensions. Just in case you want to replicate anything, feel free to steal my homework. Sorry, I'm not an AutoCAD savvy dude. I hope you can make out my chicken scratch. I didn't just get a cargo system out of this. I got the ability to work with T-slot, and now I know it's not that hard. If you have any questions, just reach out in the comments, let me know. I'm not an expert by any means. This is my first big project working with this stuff, but hey, if I can help you, I will. I hope your next project goes as well as this one. Until next time, enjoy the ride.